Well, first off, you've probably heard it 1,000 times, but congrats on the movie.
Oh,
It's-
thank you.
1001. Great.
Yeah.
1001, there you go.
Yes.
I'll take it.
I'll have that one.
Thank you. That was very
but you
nice
made
of
me
you.
wait 13 years. I was
that
young
was- that
and
was-
had hair then.
Yeah,
Yes.
we tried. We said, not yet. He has too much hair.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
That's
Not
why.
ready.
Now I've lost it. You
No,
can
it's funny.
tell,
Everybody
isn't
takes that tactic as though we were truly waiting all that time. And the truth is, like,
Secretly.
I was never going back. I had no intention of ever going back to the ocean. So it was just a surprise to me to watch the movie again after 8 years, because I really had sort of stopped watching it in 2011, and walking out of the theater going, oh my gosh, Dory's completely unresolved. She, she could forget Marlon and Nemo, get lost. She doesn't know where she's from. She still apologizes for herself, and I just felt she needs resolution. She needs to be at peace. So that's really what sparked it.
Was it more, obviously despite that, but more that than, say, Ellen's consistent kind
Well,
of...
that certainly helped.
Yes.
I mean, having that happen all the time made you know that, like, I think she'll say yes.
I think she might say yes. No, but I think you felt kind of, you felt like it was bugging you as the writer that you hadn't kind of finished that loop.
No,
so.
and
But we were definitely aware of the Ellen
every time she said
joke.
it online, you'd hear word would get to us.
She was quite subtle about it, wasn't she?
Yeah, very subtle. Exactly.
Was there, going back to this 13 years later, in terms of the technology and everything, obviously
Yeah.
you guys do amazing stuff anyway, but was there more challenges with this one going back in terms of the underwater stuff and any new challenges
We
you had?
made more. I mean, the technology, frankly, was so good. We could have done the first movie so much easier, but
Yeah, but God forbid.
we
do
know
that.
our appetite grew. So
So in some ways, actually, the technology having advanced 13 years actually allowed us to have a ton of freedom that we really didn't have on the first film in terms of where you could move the camera and what kinds of shots you could do, and just kind of all the reflections and refractions that we had to work so hard to kind of fake on the first film kind of happened almost out of the box on this one. So it allowed us to take a lot more advantage of kind of the open ocean.
and we could do an octopus, which we could have never
I was
done.
going to say, how hard is it to do? Was it to do
We
him?
barely got away with it here, so we couldn't have done it any earlier.
Yeah, he was
He
incredibly
was a
difficult.
movie in and of himself.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he could have his own movie.
He could.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill's so
Yeah,
good
I was
as well,
talking
so-
budget-wise, but okay.
Yes, that too.
In terms of, I was going to ask you about two of my favourite scenes in the movie. One was the kind of the touch tank kind of creature,
yes.
hell on earth kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was that a difficult scene to do, or was it something that
It was
quite
difficult
easy?
to get to the right level of entertainment. It was the conceit of it was always there, but it was always kind of in the beginning sort of a placeholder because we didn't have anything narratively to really do when we got trapped in it. It was just sort of a fun set piece. And what was nice is that as the story evolved, it suddenly became essential to get through it because Dory found out some history about herself, and she had to basically help Hank, which then in turn made him help her. And so all that became, it's nice that now the movie wouldn't work without it.
But the choreography of it, in terms of really all the effects and the timing and all of that, were really something that came together kind of very late in the game because you kind of had to have all the departments working together to get it to work. So.
In a weird way, in post, doing sound on it in the mix was probably where it was the most difficult to wrangle so that it wasn't annoying.
Whose idea was, not to give away any huge spoilers, but Sigourney Weaver? Whose idea was that?
I can't remember whose idea it was. I think it was pretty collective at the time.
Yeah. But it was something we
there
never
was no
thought
name
would
before
stick.
it. It was the name.
It was kind of this joke that we put in. We put in jokes kind of because we show the movie so much internally. We put in on every one of the screenings. We put in a couple jokes that we know will never stick, just because they're either too weird or they're inappropriate or something.
Yeah.
We kind of do it just because for
Makes
a laugh.
us laugh. Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
maybe
we
not,
put
so-
her on, in there, and then it made us laugh, and it made the audience laugh, and we kept going like, "There's no way they're going to let us keep it in there because it's so weird. It's just such an odd kind of thing to keep referencing her name, that actress's name." And so, but then we kept referencing it and kind of creating a bigger and bigger role for her, and then it kept getting funnier. And so we waited and waited and waited, and then finally at the last minute we were like, okay, I think they're actually going to let us keep it in.
Yeah, because she's a friend, and there's no way I'm making that phone call unless I know we're going to definitely use it.
Right.
You know, so. And also, she's actually done a lot of narration of nature videos back in the States, and she's been a narrator for a lot of museum and
She's got
science
this intelligent,
museums.
kind of warm voice.
So it had a bit of a David Attenborough association in our country.
Yeah, quite like heavenly, isn't that voice?
Yeah. And then her
Not a big
name is
boom,
so
is it,
great,
you know?
Just
so.
saying the name.
Sigourney
Weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before I go, I wanted to ask you, obviously you guys have spoke about, obviously you've done quite a lot of sequels, and maybe in the future you probably won't do as many sequels.
Apparently that's some vicious rumor.
No, yeah, I think it's.
I don't think you should hold anything to like a good story will be a good story. This is a perfect example. Like we didn't do anything for 13 years and suddenly we had an idea. So I don't think you should never say never. And I don't even think anybody that's a journalist now will be around in 13 years to call us on it. So who knows?
But you're doing Incredibles 2, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that.
Great. So be careful about wishing that we don't do them. So.
No, I think I think that the issue right now is that we have tons of movies in production, and we always are assessing kind of which ones feel like their story is in good shape.
Yeah.
And then once that's there, we kind of go, okay, if that story is in good shape, then we'll move that one into that slot, and we'll hold on this one. And it changes, honestly, every 6 months.
Yeah. Human beings, especially journalists, want to make some pattern out of something and put some conspiracy theory. And the truth is nobody knows what they're doing. And all we are doing is releasing based on when the story bakes well enough. So we can go in with the best laid plans, and it looks great on a calendar. But if the story's not right, we're not going to release it yet. And
are you working on a part of Toy Story 4 as well?
Somebody is. Not me. I'm sitting here.
Oh, not you. Yeah. Somebody else. But is that your next big one?
Well, we have a lot. It's again, like I feel like I'm going to say yes or say no, and then I'm going to go back to work after doing this press, and they're going to be like, that's all changed. Yeah. So I'm very hesitant to kind of ever commit to that, because I feel like we always are changing things around based on whether or not the story's working. Yeah. I think there's a screening of it coming up that we'll take a look at and probably decide at that point. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, massive congratulations on all the success, and it's been absolutely great to talk to you. Thank you so much.